at all.
So I don't have any real friends.
No, you don't.
Even Thor, what I would hold as the paragon of maturity and virtue, busted my balls. So I'm a little betrayed. I have trust issues now with all of you. How are you guys doing?
Doing We're living the dream, man, and a juicy target you just can't resist there, Kevin.
I know. I'm getting old, and it's just kind of like, well, where's it? Well, we have a very I'll move this away. I'm coming in hot on myself. Yeah. We have a very vibrant discussion or chat room already. So,
wow. And of course, people are happy to see us. People feel alive. We're bringing the fire, everything.
Why are you so happy? You usually are a little bit more acerbic this early in the morning at my time.
I'm just doing.
He's usually hungover at this time.
I'm doing fine. I'm just happy the sun is out again. I mean, look at me. I've almost got a tan going on. Finally, not the vampirical pale I usually am. It's like life's good, man. I conquered a stomach virus that was trying to kill me for a week, but I beat it. I outstarved it, and now I'm still alive, and it's gone.
So all right, you're coming off of being sick, and you're back to normal.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Stronger than ever.
Yeah. I'm in South Dakota finally. Oh, hey, I got to show you guys something. Check this out. Look what was sitting in the mail waiting for me.
Hey, show us. What is that?
You got the plaque.
Unboxed it.
No, I'm doing a special unboxing specifically for it, so it ain't lost at some podcast. Oh yeah, he unboxed it on Rule 0.
You're gonna tag the Carleton School of Management.
I'll tell you this: it's more valuable to me than my degree or my diploma from the Carleton School of Management.
I'm happy for you, man.
But then again, toilet paper is more valuable than that. So
you said it, not me.
Were we waiting on anyone else?
The old timer, the general himself, maybe.
I don't think he'll make it today. He had Access Vegas this week.
Yeah, he was over in Vegas. I saw him 2 days ago with Miguel.
In Apex, Paul will probably show up about 10 minutes before we close out. So.
Sure.
Glenn was out there with them all too.
Yeah. Well, Glenn moved to Vegas, I heard.
He is. Yeah. He's doing a lot of work there. He's going to do some work for Sticky Paws too, I guess.
Yeah,
that's good. He actually has talent in that arena. So,
and Stone has a birthday or something.
Stone ain't making it. Yeah, I just like we'll start now. We'll go ahead and start now. So, all right, we are gathered here today. I try not to get pissed off, and fail very regularly at that. But I'm kind of genuinely mad when that Miller Lite commercial came out. You guys are aware of the Miller Lite, not the Bud Light, the Miller Lite.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Well, I'll give you a quick synopsis. So, someone from my tribe of the Jewish persuasion failed my tribe in maintaining the stereotype that Jewish women are bitches. All right. And this is some actress, and she came out, and it's from Miller Lite, and she's like, "Oh, women create." I'm giving you the very, very short version. Women created beer, and we were rewarded by men putting us in bikinis because patriarchy. And already I'm like, "Fuck you, you goddamn quanta." Haha. So the clever idea. What's that, Fitch?
I want some tits and ass with my beer.
Yeah, well, okay, that's bad now, Fitch. And you should be ashamed and castrated for it. So now these clever people over at Miller Lite, whatever the parent ownership of it is, they decided, oh, well, what we're going to do is you can mail in all those nasty posters or paraphernalia from the 80s and the 90s of girls in bikinis, and we're going to shred it and compost it. And it's even worse than I first thought. They will then take that shredded stuff, turn it into compost, which I'm pretty sure there's chemicals in there that you shouldn't want to use this as compost. And then they're going to give the compost to women hops farmers, and the hops they grow from the quote bad shit, they literally call it that, will then go to women brewers to make good shit. And I know you guys are pissed off about the Bud Light commercial, and we got someone else here. Who's here?
No, it's the ad.
Oh,
if you want to show it, we can.
Well, okay, let's just show it real quick for
first time I see it.
Oh, good. Yeah, me too.
Here we go.
Get the cleavage right here.
Here's a little known fact. Women were among the very first to brew beer ever. From Mesopotamia to the Middle Ages to colonial America, women were the ones doing the brewing. Centuries later, how did the industry pay homage to the founding mothers of beer? They put us
founding mothers of beer, guys.
Wow.
I hate this bitch's tone.
Look at this wild. It's time beer made it up to women. So today, Miller Lite is on a mission to clean up not just their but the whole beer industry's Miller Lite has been scouring the internet for all this and buying it back so that they can turn it into good for women brewers. Literally.
How many shit?
Ladies,
how many women
First,
brewers are there really?
Into compost. Then we feed compost to worms.
11.
Push out beautiful
11.
fertilizer. That good helps farmers grow quality.
Not a
compost.
single
Commercial.
women are actually
Then
hopping.
donated to women brewers to make their own really good
but there's definitely more out there. In your attic, in the garage, in your parents' basement. Send any you got into Miller Lite and they'll turn that into good too.
Look, ugly women will go
Here's to
through
women, because without us, there would be no beer.
to make attractive women disappear. We should, like,
Paul, can you turn it off? I'm a boomer. I don't know how to do this.
Yeah. Stop. There we go.
like I said, like unattractive. Oh, finally, we can have a real show now. Good. Okay. Hi. Oh shit, he's back.
Are you making a point, Jack? Did you have something to say?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I
all
did.
right.
But it's like unattractive women will go through the ends of the earth to make attractive women disappear. Remember when they had the calendars in the garages, like the nude calendars of hot babes?
Of course.
You can't have those anymore in the Netherlands. Don't know about you guys, but they had to be removed from car repair shops because they were offensive to female customers. It's like, for fuck sakes, bring back the tits.
Did I ever tell you guys the story of the first company I worked for? In
I
IT.
think you have, but it's worth telling again, Paul, because for the audience sake. Yes.
So years ago, I got my my start in IT working for a company called WebSense, which was a porn filter company, and they had an ad where they actually had this really hot Asian model come in, and they photographed her like all naked and stuff, and then they blacked out her bits that says in a magazine ad that says, "Are your employees looking over the wrong figures?" Right? Very clever ad. Very clever ad, and everybody in the company had that up at their desk. The CEO of the company had it in a frame sitting, in his office, right? Well, one day this ugly old ass bitch from HR, thank you.
That's where all bitches are come from.
Right,
They're not in the
ugly
accounting department. It's all HR. Yeah.
This ugly old ass HR director comes by my desk one day and she goes, "You need to take that down." And I was like, "It's a company ad. Why do I need to take it down?" She's like, "That's not the direction the company's going now. You need to take it down." And so I was like, "This is unbelievable. Like the CEO of the company has this up at his desk and I got to take mine down. This is ridiculous." So in protest, I took a picture of like this old lady in a parka and I photoshopped it to make it into the same ad, but it was just this ugly ass old lady. Like that was my little, okay, fine. Is this what we're going with here? No one's looking at this ugly ass old lady, Yeah.
We live in a pandemic of underfucked women. I'm just saying. It's just the case. It's just the case. These women have not been getting attention, and now they want to remove all the attention from the world. It's like that villain in Incredibles. Like when everybody's
Super.
Yeah,
when everyone's a super, no one will be.
Yeah, but then with hot and ugly, I'm trying to figure out something clever. Help me out on this one.
When everyone's beautiful, big and beautiful, no one will be.
Yeah.
When everyone's oppressed, no one will be. Take whatever the left in general has said about whatever different groups of people or traits or variables. When everyone is this, no one will be.
Yeah. Like
so I got a different
when everybody's fat and ugly, beauty will disappear. Like, I think we should fit shame everybody back into shape.
Really go ahead, Thor. I'd rather listen to your opinion than Jack's. Go ahead, Thor. What do you got to say?
Oh, guys, what I really enjoyed about that incredibly insightful commercial that they put together was, probably 20 years ago, I was very much a microbrewer. I still have my 2-stage brewing setup in my garage. Now, I have not drinking in over 15 years, but I enjoyed that process. In that process, I did learn the history of beer making. It started from mead and the Sumerians way 6,000 years ago. There's clay tablets that actually bring this out. And once they had discovered this as humans, it was a part of cooking, canning, cleaning, and daily woman's household chores. Therefore, I kind of see these kind of women reverting back with this commercial back to their daily role, the roles that women fulfill of cooking, cleaning, canning, food preparation, drink preparation. That's pretty good, don't you think? We're making progress.
I agree. We are making progress, but see, here's the thing: it's disingenuous and intellectually dishonest on their part. Like right off the bat, and this is why I'm pissed off. And we could go through the history and the whatever the inventory of previous commercials that have come before this. But right off the, did you know women? And I'm like, shut the fuck up, bitch. I'm so sick and tired of vagina marketing all the fucking time. Like, yeah, congratulations. You're one half the population. It was a coin toss that you got born with the holy and sacred hole between your legs. It's not fucking special.
Yeah.
But right off the fucking bat, did you know women invented beer? Yeah, because the men were fighting or getting enslaved by the Hittites or the Assyrians back then.
They didn't invent it. They didn't invent it, but in the 1600s, of course, you know, the religious groups of the day did create a monopoly over beer making, and that was the monks. They were allowed in. The women were allowed in as nuns to make beer in Europe in the 16th century. So there you go.
Right. And anyway, more modernly, and what I wanted to point out with this is that this is now the latest in a long string of commercials here. And what kind of shocks me is, like, it would be one thing if this would be fringe. Some random girl, you know, pink hair, pierced lips, whatever the hell they're doing nowadays, decides to do a video on, like, did you know? This, we are now starting back what Gillette was 2019, Procter and Gamble.
Yep.
Then we had Bud Light, Miller Lite. We could argue Target and Dove, which is Unilever, I believe. Did you guys see the Dove commercial?
Oh god,
I haven't seen the Dove one, but I know the controversy about Target lately about the children and the
Target has been woke forever. Minnesota company, self-loathing, disgusting. Yeah, but and that is more under the larger umbrella of being woke. Whereas if you look at the Gillette commercial, I would say the Bud Light misandrous tangential, but definitely the Miller Lite commercial, absolutely anti-male, man hatred, and misandry.
Very true.
And what's scaring me, okay, fine, be a pissed off bitch, be a man-hating feminist, go twiddle your twat to, like, oh my god, be the freaking nag to the universe, because no man would marry you, but you got a nag, got an inner nag inside you that you got to get out and nag society. Fine, do it on your own time. These are in the S&P 5. These might even be in the Fortune 50. I mean, Procter and Gamble's I don't know who owns Miller or all that, but these are large multi-billion-dollar corporations. So this is sanctified. You look at the marketing people who do it, they have their MBA. I think one is from Harvard even. So this is what I wanted to bring up here is to show it. This is sanctioned, what's the word I'm looking for? Approved by some established mainstream institutions within our society. And which is like, okay, so is it cool now to hate men? Is this a authentic ordained marketing strategy?
Yes.
Is it going to continue happening? And if so, what is it? Another question I might have is this actual misandry, or just truly naive and stupid? Are they in their echo chamber from academia all the way to the corporate board? They have no fucking clue what they're doing. And then ultimately what we want to do about it. And so that's why I've gathered you guys here.
I think it's mostly that marketing departments are ran by women now.
Yeah, but like, was this ad anti-male or more like anti-objectification?
Well, Jack, let's start with that one, because there's a lot of
there's a
lot of angles we could take on this. I would argue this is actually, let's talk about the definition. Is this misandrous? Is this bigoted and hateful of men? Let's just focus on the Miller ad and not worry. I mean, or Gillette and Miller. Would you guys say that is man hatred?
Not the Miller. I wouldn't say the Miller one was specifically man hatred.
Gillette, definitely.
The Gillette one. Was.
Oh yeah.
Okay. It does cross the line for sign language, though. Shame, insult, guilt need to be right. You can see all of that embedded into the intonation, the pacing, and actually the words.
Gillette is a direct, because I remember when that came out, and I was on with Pat Campbell at that time, because I think it was 2019 is when that was going down. And I still have the I wrote essays about that back then, but the I remember looking up the ad agency that did that, and the ad agency wasn't the actual one that generally works for like Procter and Gamble and Gillette. It was, they farmed it out specifically to do that one commercial, and they used a militant, like agitprop feminist to do that. And remember, that commercial was meant to go, I don't know if it made it in, but it was meant to go in the Super Bowl.
It was. I thought it was in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was in the Super Bowl. And remember, it wasn't a 30-second spot. It was like a 1-minute spot.
Mm-hmm.
And it went against pretty much everything that Gillette has ever tried to put out there before. Like Gillette will, like, they sponsor like the F1 Formula One driver girls, and the tight fitting outfits and stuff like that. And it's like, it's a refutation of everything that brand has been built on for like, something like 60, 80 years, I think.
Weren't they the ones that said, be the best a man can be?
Yeah, exactly. That was funny. I did, when I did the show about that, I did a side-by-side comparison of their old, like their 80s commercial versus the Gillette commercial, of which was the man-hating one. And it was pretty much every trope you could like every toxic masculinity trope, like that, not even, I mean, exaggeration to the point where it's like, men are just pigs, men are just idiots, men are just like this, and if we don't do better, then like, then society's going to collapse, kind of thing. And the funny thing is, this is my forte, really. Like, I've done advertising and marketing and brand management for pretty much all my career. So the first thing I do is I go and I look at who's the ad agency, right? So I looked it up, and it is Procter and Gamble was using their same in-house, the same ad agency, that they were using. It's just they farmed out that one commercial to this feminist director, who, by the way, was famous for doing another, like, I think it was like a Vagisil commercial or some shit like that, where
she's
it's like
got an inventory of commercials she's done.
Yeah, and to the point where like it wasn't like pussies singing, but it was like fruit or flowers and stuff that looked like a cooter that was singing like, oh, I love my vagina, that kind of stuff.
I love that product. It keeps my beard white right here every night. Little pinch right there.
And I'll tell you what's funny is like that. I was looking at that and I go, so this is the person that they go to get it. And then I went and I looked in her background. I actually have it in an essay. I'll have to go get her name, but they specifically pulled that one director to do that. And it's not even really a commercial. It's really kind of a short film, like a 1 minute 20 film that they were going to play, that they did during the Super Bowl. And it's pretty much a refutation of everything that happened with Gillette. And by the way, they lost something like $8 billion as a result of that. It's Procter and Gamble, so nobody cares. Like they can take the hit. But the thing that's scary about all this is that there are big multinational companies right now who are willing to take the hit. They're okay with that. Like if you go and you throw out Ms. Marvel or Captain Marvel on International Women's Day, there's a reason for that. It's probably the very first flop that Marvel movies ever put out. They don't care. They don't care that they lost money on it. It's the message that's more important. They're paying for the message to put it out there in your face.
Well, they did cut what's her name? Captain Marvel from Endgame, though, because the backlash was so big. She was supposed to have a way bigger role in Endgame, but then they saw like the backlash for Captain Marvel, and they were like, "Okay, we need to rewrite this."
Right, and that was
she was going to save the day.
In the big old battle royale, they had to have that one big panning scene of here's all the girls that are
so
too. It's like, dude.
It was,
hasn't all this been building up over the
You want to
years?
talk about fan
With all
service,
the
there's fan
sitcoms and everything painting men as being goofuses and useless fathers.
Well, they've been doing that for forever. Like, see, here's the thing is women have three choices when it comes to men today. One of them is the big goofus doofy, Homer Simpson, Everybody Loves Raymond, Dr. Huxtable kind of. Yeah, like it's stupid but lovable daddy who needs mommy to save him from himself. That's the character archetype. Then there is the borderline abuser who is just very controlling and keeps her on a leash kind of thing. There's that guy who's just like not quite like ready to hit her, but like is very very controlling and keeps her on a leash. And then there's the guy who's just and this is more recent right now because and Cappy, you'll appreciate this. It's the millennial / Zoomer archetype of the incompetent lost boy. It's kind of like an incel, but he's the guy who can't drive a stick shift. He's the guy that can't tie a tie. He's like lacks basic male. That's pretty much it.
We didn't even have automatics.
He gets anxiety, has to go home early.
So you've got doofy Homer Simpson, you've got borderline abuser, and you've got incompetent Zoomer millennial. Those are your choices. Those are the male archetypes that media puts out so that women go, I can't trust a man. How could you possibly trust a man with your long-term security? I guess I'll have to go to college. I guess I'll have to get my own bag. I guess I'll have to start OnlyFans. I guess I'll have to do something because I can't trust any of these. I can't trust doofy dad. I can't trust borderline abuser, and I can't trust incompetent Zoomer. So that feeds into this narrative, or the perception anyways, that women have to go to college, have to go and get their business degree, have to go and start their gourmet biscuit dog biscuit company kind of thing. They have to go.
You got to start brewing beer.
Yeah, or what is it? Topless coffee shops. That kind of shit. Like, I'm an entrepreneur.
Right. Well, whereas I agree 100%. That's been going on for decades. I mean, you could argue since the Simpsons came out. Yeah, since the
mid 80s, late 70s, mid 80s. Yeah.
Right. So that could be it, but it's never been this pronounced. It's never been this direct.
Because they're comfortable in it. Because we're it's cliche now. We've been doing it for so long that nobody even, like, when you're saying, are they doing this purposely? Yes, but the people who are in there doing these things, like making the Miller Lite commercial and by the way, Miller Lite is owned by the same company as the Dylan Mulvaney whole shot. It's InBev. It's InBev. I remember when that happened because I worked in wine and spirits for forever. I remember when InBev bought out Anheuser-Busch and they bought all of those products. So Miller Lite is also InBev.
That's the holding company. Yeah.
Right.
So this does appear to be on purpose, even though the players may not be aware of it because of their age. But if you've been around for even a little while, if you're
what we do now, it's just this is how we do an ad, right? That they teach. I mean, I know because I have taught graphic design, I have taught marketing, I have taught brand on the community college level, anyways. But I've taught those classes before, and I know what happens in those quote unquote brand management or advertising or marketing or whatever communications degrees, right? or PR for that matter. PR is a very, very female or impacted category, at least in colleges and stuff too. But that's what they teach, and so it's just the way we do it. Like it's not like they're going, okay, here's the fiendish leftist progressivist playbook. It's just here's how we do it.
Well, I looked at the background of some of these gals. I even took some notes here, and it's nothing that you wouldn't have heard. So there's Alyssa Heinerscheid, and surprise, surprise. See, what's shocking is once they stepped too far, that was blatant and too on the nose, and there was a backlash. All of a sudden, they're like, oh shit, and now they're purging their LinkedIn and their Twitter accounts. So there's Alyssa Heinerscheid, Elizabeth Hitch, Alana Gleischer, she's the actress who misrepresented my tribe very poorly and maintained stereotypes. But you could go through their profiles. All of them worthless undergrads, MBA marketing, prestige. The definition of privileged white women, and all under the age of 40 and all good looking. Is it that, okay, I understand they went from academia. They've never set foot outside of a artificial environment. Could we say then you then throw them into a corporate world, especially advertising, that has just been skewing, not necessarily left, but not having anyone have a foot in the real world? that now you have this corporate culture where it's just like, oh yeah, we do it. Because here's another observation I had. Do they have anything else except trait marketing right now? Those wascally men over there, oh, the misogynists, oh, look at those guys over there. Oh, hey, your trait, hey, your race. Is this like, I remember we had the Energizer Bunny, or you'd have Where's the Beef? Or there was actually some level, maybe it wasn't Bill Burr level funny, but it was clever. You'd almost be entertained by the commercials. Now, all we got is, you got a vagina? Shit, buy our product because men be nasty.
Well, you know why, right? This is all based, and it's a shame Ryan isn't here, but it's all based on that. I can't remember who it was, but MasterCard did some poll or whatever. So it turns out that women are like the majority spenders of everything. So now all of a sudden companies are like, wait a minute, since they're the biggest spenders, we should pander to them the most.
Yep, that's
because
right.
when you look at those commercials, it's all female pandering. It's all, oh, you're beautiful the way you are. It doesn't matter how much you weigh. It doesn't matter your background and blah, 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 and this and that. It's all pander.
Men will wear the same pair of underwear for 10 years.
Well, let me ask this. Okay, I understand pandering to women. If women spent the majority of money or influenced 80% of the decisions, which is the statistics you're talking about, absolutely target women. What does it say that to target women, you bash on men? Is that percentage of women? Is that percentage of women, like, is their identity, modern women, say under 60, is their identity so tied up with I hate men?
Yes,
or, oh my God, okay, Paul, please expand, enlighten me.
Female triumphalism is what it is.
He becomes
Hey,
blessed. So
Rollo, explain that one.
Yeah, chips on their shoulder.
A little bit more. That's a really good one.
No, it is. It's female/feminist triumphalism. It's like, we won here, and it's rubbing men's noses in it all the time. It goes back to the doofy dad thing. Remember the archetype I told you, how it's women who have to save dad from himself. That transfers, and has been doing this for forever on commercials as well. You'll see that if there is a male involved, especially if it's a white male involved in any commercial, he's always the incompetent. Well, I don't know anything about car insurance. and of course, mom is a fucking genius, has a master's degree in car insurance, right? Don't worry, honey. Let me help you out. I'll save you. I'll save the day. Like, I know it. Don't worry. You'll hurt yourself. Go get another titty magazine and some beer, right? It's like Married with Children kind of thing. Yeah. At least in Married with Children, he was smart enough to like be sarcastic and sardonic about the whole thing. But no, it's female triumphalism. It's we won. And it's waving the flag is what it is, because you're talking about, I mean, if you go back all the way to, like, say, the Betty Friedan Gloria Steinem days, like right around like 1968, 1970, right around there when it was at its height, the militant feminism was at its height. That was, you've come a long way, baby. Do you remember that
Virginia Slims?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so that it's pandering to female triumphalism, again, because there's no creativity. There's nothing new. It's why we keep going back to these nostalgia films. Like, we want to do the all-female version of Ghostbusters, right? We want to do the all-female version of Ocean's 11 or Ocean's 8 or whatever the ocean number is right now.
Yep.
It's all about because there's such a dearth of creativity in Hollywood and also in our marketing and in our advertising. It's not just our storytelling. It's also the storytelling that we do when we're trying to do something like a commercial or we're trying to appeal to someone. It used to be that men were the hardest demographic. Just being male was one of the hardest demographics to sell to, and so therefore the only time you could ever get, you want to know why they spend so much money on like Super Bowl commercials, because they think that that's the only market that men can reliably be around to watch a commercial, right? Well, what happened in the NFL? Women took over the NFL as far as marketing and advertising and everything else is concerned. So what happens is you get the Dockers commercial where you got these guys walking around in their tighty whities, and there's like men with no pants. I don't know if you guys remember that commercial. It's from back in like 2015 or something. And every once in a while, Dockers will do something like sort of like that. But it's guys walking around basically in their tighty whities, and it's meant to sell Dockers to guys. But Dockers knows that women are the ones who buy clothes for the guys. And it's not just Dockers. It's like pretty much damn near everything. That's why Dove appeals to women, so that they will go and buy men's Dove products or whatever the hell it is, bodily wash, masculine wash. And so they sell it to the wives and they sell it to the women, who will then go and do the purchasing for the men, because they know that men ain't going to go buy Dove, right? So, and also you can also apply that to, like, say, Old Spice, right? It used to be this really masculine brand. And so what do? Is they put the brother on the horse, and he's like a really good looking dude, right? It's not meant to appeal to guys. It's meant to appeal to women who will buy Old Spice deodorant or spray or whatever the fuck they're selling, so that women will buy it, and they'll give it to the men, or they'll say, oh, this is what you ought to smell like. This is what you ought to look like.
Well,
so we no longer market to men anymore. We market to women who will then purchase for men.
Paul,
well, I'd like to add on to that too, because
they're saving them from themselves, right?
Yeah, it's not by marketing to women, you're de facto marketing to most men who are constantly appealing to women's sensibilities, right? And so you have like most people are not, like, to use the archetype, the alpha male. Most people aren't the 20% of guys that are attractive to women. Most guys are simping or qualifying to some degree to women. And so even if they're just complacent and going, yeah, honey, that's cool, whatever you say, I'm not going to argue, right? And so when women are, appealing to, well, masculinity's bad and screw all men and toxic masculinity and, like, and all this type of all these marketing tactics that make men look bad, guys are appealing to women who are being, who are falling into that market, who are like, I don't know. My brain is retarded today, but you get what I'm saying, like, right? And so, like, women are going for this marketing, but guys are like, yeah, oh yeah, okay, whatever, honey, whatever you say, just let me have a crumb of vagina, please. Like, and so,
please,
yes, yeah, please,
cookie,
yeah, that's most dudes, and so they don't lose anything. They don't lose much. I mean, they think they're not going to lose much. We'll put it that way, with divisive marketing towards men and making men look toxic and incompetent, because there's too many men who are
addicted to pussy.
Right. Well, it's not just addicted to it, but like that they think that's their way of getting it. The guy that jumps on, any one of your guys' tweets or whatever comment sections in YouTube and, tries to, shit all over you and call you a toxic male, right? That guy is trying to appeal to some girl out there, even if she's imaginary. You know what I mean? And so there's so many of those guys. And so they get 50% or so of the market share by appealing to women, and let's say 50% of the guys. You know what I mean? And so they get most of the market share. So, and then the numbers add up to sales and all that stuff. So
I'm not disagreeing necessarily. There might be some products, but men aren't buying, say, Old Spice or, Georgia paper because it's going to get them laid. I do believe the old school marketing Rolla was describing before, where women make the majority of household purchases. Yeah. I think that because whether they're buying men's Dockers or men's clothes or something like that, I don't know why. I have a girlfriend now for almost 16 years, and she wants to buy me clothes. It's in their genetic. It's like, just I don't need it.
You're their dress up doll.
I know I am. I'm a very sexy one too.
Why don't you wear?
Well, to be fair,
let me hold it. But very important. Whoa! I got a very important point. Okay, hang on now.
You don't like Dockers?
Is that going to hold going forward? Because ain't no one getting married.
Right.
Let's talk about under 40s. Who's getting married? They even had the she economy. Half the people ain't getting married. All right. So this is already. I think these large corporations not only have turned up the divisive marketing to a point that it is too on your face, insulting, and is driving men away, but it's based on a historical trend or a historical fact that women and men were together in a household and women made the majority of the purchases.
Yeah.
That's not going to hold anymore going on in the future. They're further crippled by being essentially brainwashed, indoctrinated, where you have basically your marketing department, especially the new blood coming in, where they're all indoctrinated in school. They're disproportionately women, and all they got is, we're not like Roll. You talked about their waving flag. How long are they going to wave the victory flag? How long are they going to do a victory lap? Like, when do they inevitably move on?
Forever, until there's a crisis that ends it.
Because
there's a crisis where they need masculine.
Well, yeah, I mean, the meteor has to hit, right? But no, it's also the reason why that's the default is because it always works. There's always another generation of women who like young women who come in and think they're all that, right? Especially when they're on top of the world, right? Especially when they're with the 18 to 24 demographic.
So I wanted to ask you a question about that role, specifically being you in the marketing industry here. I just did a quick search and I ended up with a small graphic from the National Institutes of Health, and they looked at ages 18 to 22, which was the largest category of alcohol use. It's pretty damn amazing.
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
And
it's huge.
in college, it was 56% of males would use alcohol, with 36% having been drunk. When you take it to the females, it's 61% of alcohol use and 40% of having been drunk. That's a pretty substantial difference. Are they getting out in front of that? Is that what this is about?
Well, first off, I mean, as far back as like the Sex and the City generation, like back in the mid 2000s when that was a big deal. You want to know where I made a good chunk of change was off of Sex and the City. Thank you very much. Because it sold a lot of flavored martinis, apple teenies. Oh, Lord in heaven. If you had an apple flavored vodka at that time, you were on fire. I mean, I was personally responsible for espresso and double espresso martinis as well. So, but there's nothing that sells like, foofy, there's nothing that sells alcohol like shit that doesn't taste like alcohol. so like
ironically
systems.
Well, like I remember, maybe you guys remember this was the Red Bull and vodka, the cherry bomb shots. Yeah, it was huge in college, college thing back in the mid 2000s. And then there was what was there's another one. Well, I mean, apple teenies, that kind of stuff. And Fireball. anything that doesn't taste like booze is really popular for women. Straight alcohol is like, if you could drink something neat, women don't drink anything neat. You got to put sugar in.
We got the White Claws now.
You got to put a pineapple in it and an umbrella in the drink, right? And then you're living life.
White Claw is not sugary. I have had that, and if tasteless had a taste.
The reason why women like it is because it's the Zima of today is what it is, and Aaron knows what I'm talking about. It's the 90s version of Zima.
Or they dress up those drug delivery systems.
Yes, well, and it's funny you should say that, because I'll tell you, here's my you guys want a little bit. I'm going to put on my entrepreneur hat here for a moment. When I was working in I guess technically I still do, working in the wine and spirits industry, I worked for a man named Dave Vandeveld, and Dave Vandeveld was one of the principal partners at Kettle One. And I don't think he would mind me talking about him now. He's in his 80s, and he's certainly way past retired. But I remember when I learned a lot. I mean, probably pretty much everything I know about wine and spirits from him. And he took all of his money and from Kettle One when he separated, and he put it into Van Gogh Vodka and Van Gogh Imports. And so it wasn't just vodka; it was doing a lot of top shelf rum and top shelf whiskey and stuff like that as well. But he told me this one time. He said, Rollo, he said, there's alcohol, or excuse me, vodka is just ethanol and water. And if you just distill it, you can make better versions of it. Triple distill it. It's top shelf vodka, and there's Wolfschmitz at the bottom. But essentially, you're not selling anything other than ethanol and water. You're selling a lifestyle, and that's really what it comes down to. So when 50 Cent reps for Ciroc, right, or you've got Sammy Hagar's got his own brand of Cabo Wabo tequila, which he sold for $86 million. Thank you very much, just by putting his fucking name on that thing, right? So it's selling a lifestyle. Alcohol will get you fucked up. That's really all there is to it. And so it's like, who drinks this? What's the lifestyle? What's the branding? What's the conspicuous consumption? That kind of stuff. So you're selling that lifestyle. That is very easy to sell to women, because women always want the escape. They always want to look like the chick in Sex and the City. So they'll buy Apple Teenies. Now take that out of the realm of alcohol and put lifestyle branding into everything we do today. In fact, that's all we do today when it comes to social media, because everybody is their own fucking brand and they're all selling lifestyle. I learned this, by the way, from Fresh and Fit, is when I started getting into like doing advertising and sort of promoting myself on Instagram. He's like, they want to see what Rollo Tomasi does behind the scenes. They want to feel like they're part of the club, or they're part of, they're in the family kind of thing. They want to see you drive your car or go fishing or play guitar or whatever it is. And I was like, are you sure about that? He goes, yeah. And I started doing it. I'm like, fuck, they do. It's all like when you're an influencer, and every woman who has a social media presence is an influencer. She is a brand of herself. She's a brand of me. And when you're selling it, you're selling a lifestyle, very similar to selling like alcohol. You're selling this ideal that if you drink this, if you do this, if you buy this, if you wear this, then you'll be participating in the lifestyle that a cool person like me is selling to you. So now take it out of the realm of alcohol and put it into the realm of social media and influencing. And I'm starting to get the fucking, a twitch in my eye and a chill up my spine every time somebody says I'm an influencer.
You're a great life coach too, Rollo.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you very much. Right now, I'm influencing you just by giving you this information. I'm not telling you what to fucking do with it.
We are here by our own free will. We want it.
I know. Well, yeah.
Can I get a prescription there, Rollo?
Yeah. Well, it's a lifestyle brand, and so alcohol above everything else is you're just selling the same shit. It's just like, white label coffees, like what, Black Rifle coffee. I go into not Shields. I go into Cabela's, or I go into Bass Pro, and you'll see a whole row, a whole area that's just dedicated to Black Rifle coffee, and it's all merchandise, and it's all coffee cups, and it's all T-shirts, and it's fucking coffee. But it's not coffee. They're selling the same thing as Devil Mountain coffee is, or whatever. I don't know. It's white label branding is what it is. It's the same shit that other people are selling. They're just doing it better than everybody else, or they got into it before everybody else does. And so you think Black Rifle coffee until they fuck up and go all woke, right? But they're not selling you anything different than Starbucks is, or anything better than Devil Mountain. Devil Mountain, I think, is at least you have the highest caffeine content, but it's that white. There's a convention or a conference in Las Vegas, and it's a white label conference, and you basically go there, and it's all these things that you can personally brand yourself, and they take care of all the fulfillment. They take care of all they want you to do is be the ad department, which is exactly what I do, right? So when you think about that, they're selling the same shit. Everybody's selling the same shit. It's just who has the best lifestyle brand.
Well, what does that say about? Okay, we don't have multi-billion-dollar marketing budgets. What does that say about what the lifestyle women want? When, as far as I can tell, and ladies, I'm not slamming on you. I'm trying to save your goddamn lives. If we look at mainstream marketing to women, it is be a fat, annoying bitch, hate men, okay, and I don't know what else. I mean, at least in the olden days, it was for that too. In the olden days, it was something like, okay, have a nice, pretty dress, be feminine, actually
that requires effort, though. You see,
okay, Paul, go, because I'm like, they're telling women just to be insufferable.
Right. Yeah. Well, so we like men, we tend to be oriented towards a goal, right? And so like let's just go evolution for a minute. We're out getting resources. We're out protecting. So that involves doing something that is more or less going towards a goal oriented, that sort of thing. It's not to say that women don't have goals, but really what they want is social acceptance. So a woman's drive, to take it at a baseline level is social acceptance first, so she'll go for a goal if it means she's going to be socially accepted. And so to market to women saying you're good, even though you're bitchy and fat, that's like, oh, thank you. Oh, pat myself on the back. I'm a good fat bitch here, and whatever. And that's what it is. Instead of going for something and putting in effort, which implies you're not necessarily great as you are right now, because you got to make yourself better. that doesn't work well with a lot of women. They want to be accepted. Now, social acceptance is fine, but it gets hyper marketed when it's, you know, now not only are we going to say you're good just the way you are, but we're going to support the thing that would involve the least amount of effort, you know, like being pleasant and controlling your emotions and taking care of your appearance and all of those things. You know what I mean? And so that's just going to be more appealing to women because it doesn't require effort and it causes social acceptance with the way they are. And so they can continue to be insufferable and get support for it. And then they're going to buy those products, you know?
How much of this, because they do go to K through college, that's the entire education industry. And we could also throw in marketing and politics. How much do you think, because let's just be honest, unless you're like an engineer or a wife or you're a mother or something, you don't have a life. I'm just going to, your career is fake and all that. So how much of it is that, and I'm being deadly serious. If you're not working a real job, you don't have love in your life. What the fuck do you got? And so I think what has been installed in them is politics, where whatever variant or flavor it might be.
Sure.
Yeah, like wokeism, feminism, environmentalism, rank socialism. Yeah. How much of that? And if you got nothing else in life, do you guys see it where politics now trumps profit, or which would be a proxy for reality? Because women, that's the most important thing. And okay, you're in marketing, you're dumber than fuck. Okay, you're just dumber than fuck with a marketing degree. So you don't know any better about reality. Like, you don't talk to the accounting department or the reality department. What do you guys
majored in reality?
There's like that's in the basement. It has like one dude with glasses on a desk, and they just keep him down there.
Yeah, you know why? You know why the reality classes don't sell? Because people don't want to. Because they're hard. Because their escape life is better than their shitty real life. That's why.
Well, and that's what it is too. And so women are chasing happiness through social.
Oh boy, now we're on it.
And support. No. What? Oh yeah, this one.
No, it's because like one of my sort of like Christian duties these days is to sort of like crush people's souls when it comes to happiness.
Yes,
because
that's great.
I will tell you right now, if there's any ladies watching this or guys who are like
trigger warning
in your life. Don't try to make a bitch happy, please, because and you know, I know it was a joke, right? It was like what was it? Chris Rock was saying, you know, let's get out there and make this bitch. You could fuck her with a diamond dick, and we'll never make her fucking happy. But it's but no, it's true, because and I was just reading this in a really great book called Positive Evolutionary Psychology. There is such a fucking thing, right? Yeah. It breaks down happiness. Yeah, happiness is not a goal state, and that's the problem. You want to know how we got to this point? Aaron, we got to this point by selling women on the false idea that they can be permanently happy, that they should, that they deserve to be permanently happy, that they're entitled fucking, you know, to have long-term security, to have a love, to have a world that is not chaotic, to have a world that is predictable, to have a world that is like always going to be happy, that it's just around the corner. Buy this fucking product, drink this fucking drink, do whatever it is. It's just around the corner. It's like the fucking, you know, carrot that the donkey's going after. Happiness is the fucking carrot, right?
Yeah, that's 100%.
And that's the thing is like, and I hate this shit because I see tradcons doing it. I see wokesies doing it. I see everybody fucking doing it. And it's based on one false assumption that happiness is a sustainable, maintainable goal state for the rest of your fucking life. And everybody's entitled to happiness. Fuck you. No, you're not.
That's because both political parties today
are entitled to nothing.
Yep. Hey, chill, Frank.
And that's I know Frank. That comes from. But you're entitled to nothing, first of all, and then second of all, the very fundamental idea of happiness is false. Happiness is an emotion. It is something you feel when you are doing something, not when you get to that point.
Or someone.
Yeah, that's right. That's the point.
Definitive state of humanity is discontent.
State of being, not a goal state.
Yeah, and so but that's what we sell. We don't sell a product. We don't sell a lifestyle. We sell the presumption that if you can do these things, if you can get to this point, you will be in a sustainable state of security, contentment, and happiness. Fuck you. That never happens. And I know I sound very evil when I say stuff like that, but it sounds evil because too many people, for the longest, for 4, 5, I will go all the way back to the greatest generation. They've been sold the same fucking thing. You want to know why women are on record numbers of SSRIs, of antidepressants? Because that antidepressant removes that idea that happiness is like something that you have to be doing something to get to. You just take a pill and you're happy, right? Happy pills. Drink this drink.
Well,
have an apple teeny and you'll be happy, right? For momentarily, anyways. When I love it when guys like say, well, it's dopamine versus like serotonin or some shit. No, it's not. It's because your emotions are meant to drive you from one state to another, and usually it's for reproduction or it's food, or survival, right? Yeah. So if you're doing something that makes you happy, if you are like in the process of building something, you want to know why guys are unhappy right now? It's because they lack purpose and there's nothing to get them from point A to point B. So we sedate them with pornography. We sedate them with like OxyContin. We that's the sedation side of this whole thing. It's the idea that you can have happiness immediately as opposed to like forestalling it. But even when you get to that point, when you get your degree, when you get your master's degree, when you get your doctorate degree, then what's after that? And that's a feature, not a bug. Okay. How you deal with discontentment is really, if you do it creatively or you can do it destructively. And unfortunately, everyone's doing it destructively because they think that happiness is a fucking pussy at the end of the rainbow.
Or and for women, it's like, they're being sold. Their pornography is Instagram and other people's stories. You know what I mean? Their pornography is the lifestyle marketing that is being promoted that, well, if I just have that,
their pornography is let's hold these bitches accountable. Yeah, get her. Finally, someone saying what I could never say to these bitches' faces. That right there is just as much a dopamine hit as jerking off and getting off.
Oh, 100%.
Seriously.
100%, And so, and it's just like, instead of happiness being a state of being and, you're doing stuff to enhance your life and happy while you're doing it. Yeah, it's something off into the future. It's some goal that you have to try to attain. And all they have to do is use that carrot, and lifestyle is the imagery of that. And so people would rather get into the fantasy of the lifestyle than do the actionable things to try to improve their life objectively. You know what I mean? And this is why I'm not slamming on the Tates for this or anything, but why are the Tates so popular? Because they are just a lifestyle. They're an image. They're a lifestyle. I got cars. I got this. I'm alpha. I'll kick your ass in the ring. I got, they're just like, that's who I am. And so join my shit, and some of those people may do some work, you know what I mean? But a lot of them, though.
What I see, Paul, in that sort of set right there in the positivity. It's like some kind of hybrid between like the red pill and this positivity success porn hustle. What I see is you will hear this on damn near every, and I hate to call out even friends of mine who are doing this, but like the message starts with no one's coming to save you. You're all on your own. You're fucking cut off. You better be able to man up and take care of yourself because nobody's going to come to save you. You're broke down on the side of the road and you better be able to change a tire, that kind of shit. Right.
Yep.
But then it's followed up in the next sentence, and join my liminal order, join my group, join my, Mighty Mountain Men group, and we will save you.
Yes, exactly.
It is the epitome.
And by the way, it's production and frame.
No, marketeering. Trust me. That's what it is. It's like, marketeering is. And by the way, and this goes more to Aaron's point. Yeah. Marketeering is creating the problem or emphasizing the problem that it's like the pain points and creating the problem to which only you sell the unique solution to that problem.
Right.
Isn't it fitness, sex, and health?
You are both the source of the problem and the solution to the problem. That is marketing. That is the definition.
Well, and that's like so if you look at Tate, and I'm not, again, this is not a slam on Tate's. They're actually genius marketers.
Oh yeah,
they're genius.
Brilliant.
Dude. Like they know what they're doing. So like they put out, like seriously, bravo, dude. I'm sitting here going, thumbs up, man. You guys are kicking ass.
I sit there and watch their stuff and just take notes. Like, what are they doing? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, they're fucking great. But what part of what they do
exactly.
They shame the guys a little bit. It's like, you're a douchebag, you're fat, you're out of shape,
you're a loser,
you're brokey, you're this, right? That's the problem. Is you?
Here's my solution.
Suck balls. And now look at me. I got to be Bugatti, bunch of girls. Hey, even I got thrown in Romanian jail. And look at me coming out more jacked, dude. Like, I'm the shit. So take my program, be the shit, and it works. Now here's the thing: only a small percentage of those guys are going to do any work. Most of them are just going to follow them and jerk off to the image. And they may take Hustlers University, or they may do one of their programs and pay for it and literally do nothing with that. And that's not their fault. You know what I mean?
They learn from the best. They've learned from the government. What the government does, and what really the basis of good marketing is it's it's feed fear and sell security. That's what that essentially, you can take that all the way up to the macro level, where it's like the government saying, Osama bin Laden's going to eat your children. But don't worry, we're here to save you, right?
It's a primary political principle.
So it's feed fear, sell security. By the way, you're going to see this narrative in the upcoming election cycle, guaranteed. And then, but if now take that down to the micro level, you can take that and you can use that in your game to like feed fear, sell security. You're going to be alone forever. So fuck me. Like you can use that on so many different levels, but it's a basic.
I'm going to use that, by the way.
And the challenge that I have, and I think everyone here has, is so like, how do I have a brand and a product? How do I market that product without being a total fucking douchebag falling into the stuff, right? Because people, quite frankly, want the douchebag stuff. And so it's just, it's a fine line I'm trying to walk all the time of doing this with integrity. Yet, because there are things to be afraid of for guys. If guys want to have, for example, a healthy relationship in their life, well, they're not going to get it if they don't get certain skill sets and they don't do certain things. That's a reasonable fear to have. And so that's a thing that I have to highlight in order to say I have some solutions for that. I'm not the only guy with the only solutions, but I have solutions if you want to learn from me, but it's a fine line though, to walk that marketing line with integrity versus just like grifting fear. And then,
it really is
promising solutions. You know what I mean? To get
it is really tough one, because a lot of men will actually choose, and I've seen this in many industries. They choose to ends justify the means. So they try to recapture their integrity on the backside. Yeah, because the message is bigger than the means. And you see the neocons do this big time. They've sold their soul for it, because the happiness quotient is a real political principle, and Rollo just touched on it. So you're gonna drive that fear up, and you're gonna sell the solution as security. And that's why you're seeing wokeism pushed in elementary schools, and you're feeding this entire machine about the women is a strong independent character. They're feeding that machine right now. Ultimately, it's going to get them to vote, and they're going to grow one or the other side of politics. Both sides are doing it. The neocons are just catching up with that now.
Left is the right, and right is the left. I don't make any distinction between the two, especially now. It's interesting is like, for the longest time, because we've sort of been in this. It's like the Israelites or whatever in the desert, like Moses leading them 40 years in, exile or whatever the fuck, and it's, so we have this sort of feeling that like everything's fucked. And if we can just get Trump into office, or if we can just get whoever, our guy in the office, then things are going to change. No, you
can't understate that. That's
Stratcons will use exactly the same tools that the progressive, the leftists will use. They're just
announcing your presidency.
Everyone is a social justice warrior. Everyone.
Oh yeah.
What is your definition of social, and what is your definition of justice, and what are you willing to do it?
They're selling exactly what Rollo said. They're amping up the fear, and they're going to sell you, the security or the happiness on the back end. If you follow me, you'll be happy. You'll be secure.
Rollo, are you in the public chat room right now?
Yeah.
You are okay. Never mind. Go
Yeah,
continue with Thor. Sorry,
I'm looking at both. Because I have one monitor here and I've got ours right here. No, I was just to say is that the left is the right and the right is the left right now. And I'll tell you what kind of woke me up to that whole thing was I was watching was it whatever podcast, and you've got like the religious, holier than thou Puritans on one side of the fucking table, and you got Destiny and his wife, whatever he's calling his wife these days, and all the sort of like the wokesy left, like degenerate side of the table, and then in between is like MLD and the retarded girl that's like right there in the center of it. And I'll tell you what's funny, it's like you got the tradcons on one side, you've got the wokesies on the other side, and then right in the middle is the red pill. I mean, at least the representation of it right now. And that's why, and what I was going to say is that's why, like, got all of us right now, they're coming for all of us because they want to take us down before they can actually build up what they're going to be building up in 2024 for the election cycle. But like right now, I'm seeing this sort of atomization or this polarization between the two. And then right in the middle, like for me, fuck the left, fuck the right now, because right now you guys both sound exactly the fucking same. Because they are,
and people are going to come after. I had, and it's some of it's just individual stuff. This is really funny. I want to mention it. I had somebody who lives in another country call the police because they thought my girlfriend. They're saying my girlfriend was kidnapped.
They tried to spot you.
I mean, yeah, my girlfriend. We're up at my up north place, so I have another place.
How old are you and how old is your girlfriend?
Oh yeah, 45. I'm an old man. I'm grandpa.
Hey, you're just as young as Mike Sartain. And how old is your girl?
She's 25.
As it meant to be.
My man, good boy.
And she looks like 21. So
how dare you?
She has this. She's very good looking and all that, right? She's very pretty, but she has. The kind of pretty she is she has like that innocent look pretty, which makes dudes who are simps lose their minds, and like, I'll slit my wrist to save you, like kind of stuff. Like it brings out the pathology and like weird simpy behavior on guys like times 10. And like, I mean, she's my girl, I don't do any of that crap. That's like not why I'm with her. Like it's just like it's a crazy. But yeah, they had this guy. This is just like, as far as attacking. He's this guy, and he may have something wrong with him, right? He may be actually like schizophrenic or something might be wrong with this guy. But he saw my image and my message, which is pretty non-divisive if anyone follows my stuff, right? I'm not a flame, I'm not, creating flame, whatever flame wars on the internet. I'm not like shitting all over women. Like that's not my brand, right? That's not what I do. And so he saw though my image as such a threat that he went to the extent of calling the police. And here's the funny part. Well, it went more than that. He was stalking my social media, hers, her family's, her friends, right? Everyone's blocking them. She had sent a single message to say, hey, just to let you know, because it was like, you need help. And if you need help getting out of this, I'm going to save you kind of a message. And she's like, well, I'm in a good relationship. That's my boyfriend. Appreciate the concern. Can you please stop contacting me and my family? Right. That was the message. What do you think his reply was? Do you think it was, oh, thank God. I thought you were captured by this terrible gorilla man. I'm glad to hear that you're okay. Do you think that was his answer?
No, it was like, F you, bitch.
Oh, F you, you be blap, blap, slut this, blap, blap. You two deserve each other. You guys are, because it didn't fit the narrative of that he had in his head of saving some girl and simping for some girl. So here's the thing, like women, to include my girlfriend at different times in her previous life before me, have had to call the cops on guys for different things. And they've been unresponsive, like the police, right? Police like, oh, there's something serious going on. Okay, 45 minutes to respond, way after the incident, like not even interested, right? For most of it, not following up for reports for serious incidences. Some of them serious, where the guy was problematic and and all that stuff, right? Okay, well, what do you think happens here with my internet personality? And this dude, they take this dude's little like report or whatever it is seriously enough. And it's fine. Like, I don't care. I know all the law enforcement out here, like, and I don't do anything wrong. So it's not a big deal. But it's like state police went to her mom's, sent local to her mom's house at her mom's town. The mom said, hey, like, they're in a relationship. It's like, fine, this is good. Well, we're going to send the local over in his town to do health and, to do welfare checks. The dude shows up to do a welfare, and I'm like, yeah, have him come over. Like, fuck, I'll make him coffee. No big deal. And so she's over. I'm stacked with appointments that day. The dude shows up and like pulls her aside and is like, are you sure? Like asking, are you sure you're not being abused? And like all this stuff. It's like, no, I'm pretty good here. Like things are good. Are you safe? If you want to leave, could you leave? She's like, well, as you see, there's 3 cars in the driveway and a motorcycle. I'm pretty sure I could hop on any one of these right now and get out of here if I want to. He's in an appointment right now upstairs over Zoom. Like, this isn't a big deal. And so, but then she says, but there is a guy, that's been making false reports though to you guys. And he's stalking my friends. He's stalking people on the internet, and he's actually harassing. So, that's what's happening. That's why you got this stuff. Now you think the cop would go, oh, so you're being harassed on the internet and there's false reports? Like, yeah, let me look into that. Okay. Or whatever. Nope. He says, well, I'm not sure I believe you about the abuse. Here's my card with my number on it, though.
That's funny.
All
That has to do with my Twitter post.
The default setting. It's exactly what Aaron was saying just before. It's this idea that, like, are they doing this intentionally, or is this just their default operating system? And the answer is it's their default operating system right now.
Default operating system.
They go to.
He can't. His dream probably. I know this guy too, so now I've called him. I'm like, dude, call me next week. We need to talk about that. But his default is, oh, a damsel in distress. This is why I got my badge and did all this work.
He waits. I'm like, white knights wait for the opportunities to do exactly that. Hey,
exactly.
Let me see if I can follow. Let me see if I can steer us back to the topic.
Yeah. But anyway,
so
sorry.
I got some stats for you, Aaron. 7 trillion is contributed by women to the United States in the consumer and business spending. 2/3 of consumer wealth in America will belong to women within the next decade. 91% of women say that they think that advertisers don't understand them. That is by design. Okay. 85% of purchases and purchase influences are made by women. 50% of products typically marketed to men are purchased by women. These are, I'm grabbing these from, I'll read the stats for you here in a second. 60% of all personal wealth in the U.S. is held by women. All stock ownerships in the United States, women control 51%. So don't think for a second that the idea, like, I love this one, 91% of women say that they think that advertisers don't understand them. That, again, that's by design.
On purpose, yeah.
What happens is it leads into exactly what you were talking about before with like Gillette commercials and all this other stuff. Oh, they don't get us. Oh, finally, someone who gets us. We'll go buy Gillette we'll go buy male like beauty products that we would never buy for ourselves anyways, right? Spending and power. 80% of healthcare decisions are made by women. 68% of new car purchases decisions are made by women. 75% of women identify themselves as primary household shopper. Well, surprise there. 85% of all consumer purchases in the U.S. are made by women. 65% of requested services at car dealerships are made by women. Women spend a combined $200 billion on new cars and mechanical servicing of vehicles.
It's got to be more than that. It's got to be more than that.
These are like, I think these are 2018 stats.
Okay.
What women buy, purchases by women account for: new homes, 91%. Personal computers. What do you think? What do you think personal computers is? 66%. Vacations, 92%. Bank accounts, 89%. Who you're going to bank with. Right. Food, 93% of markets and goods in America. Control of wealth. Women own 40% of all American private businesses. 1.3 million women earn more than $100,000 a year in annual salary. Senior women, age 50 plus, sorry, ladies, have a combined net worth of $19 trillion. Over the course of this is the best one. Over the course of a family's life, 90% of married women will control its wealth. That right there. Anytime women go, oh, we're so oppressed. Oh, it's the patriarchy. Fuck you. 90% of women will control the family's wealth.
Yeah, because we die early.
It's not
there's a lot of
the
that
money. It's not who is earning the money. It is who is allocating the fucking funds. That's where
and Mackenzie Bezos, with the divorce, right?
Exactly.
But no, I'm not disagreeing with any of those numbers.
Mhm.
And I would argue that what drove those numbers in the past, that marriage and family formation, and like the guy's got to work, sweetheart, go make the purchases. All right, that's coming to an end within the next 20 years. All right. What I'm concerned, not even concerned, what I'm curious about.
By the way, hold that thought. Over the next 40 years, women stand to inherit $28.7 trillion.
With a T.
Right, trillion.
Intergenerational wealth.
And that's just U.S. That's not globally.
Yeah, just U.S. Yes.
Yeah, that's just U.S. Here's what I find fascinating. I'm very curious about. You have two markets because you have two sexes. All right, you got men and women. That's it. All right, shove it up your ass if you disagree. I could see where Dove advertises a female product, their lotion or their soap or whatever, to overweight women and because women are the consumers of that product. Right. Where I get confused is where they advertise to women because they are in control of the purse. They're going to purchase the goods for men, but to such an extreme level that it goes beyond the subtle Heathcliff, Huxtable, Ray Romano, oh, your dopey husband doesn't know better, buy this, to an radical ideological position or state that even men get slapped across the face. We're like, whoa, wait. For example, the Dolvani thing, the Bud Light thing. All right, trans, get that fuck out of my family. Get that the fuck out of my going to the bar, going home and cracking open beer. I don't want to see trans dick or trans hoo-ha at the end of the day. I don't care how popular. And OMG, I have a trans friend and I'm female, which is part, the purchasing power where they were going to market to that.
We're all friends with the Jacks, so we're fine.
But it went so extreme that it was beyond the pale. And now men finally wake up where you're just like, you're insulting, or Gillette, certainly, you're now insulting us.
But like, can I get that in real quick? Where it's like the how do I phrase that? The portrayal they have of the female characteristics. I'm kind of like, ladies, how aren't you offended by this? Like, this is what we think a woman behaves like. When you look at that Dylan guy, it's like
blackface.
It's kind of like blackface, but with a vagina. It's like, what the hell? It's like, that's not how women act,
Right, but okay, so it's going beyond the pale for everyone. I would not credit your average female consumer in the West to be like, oh my God, I'm offended. That's blackface. I think they're like, oh my God, it's the new thing. It's fashionable. Yay, trans people. Okay, I'll go on that and shop at Target. They have gone so far that now they are starting to lose money. Like I don't know why people haven't boycotted Target or Gillette even more, and they did do Gillette.
They are with Target now. They've their stock is plummeting right now.
Right, and so here's my question: I don't care how much programming, ideology, lack of true purpose and meaning, or what percent of the purse strings and purchasing decisions are made by women. These corporations, whether it's Disney, Target, the beer companies, whatever, now they're starting to lose money. At what point, they have to, they will run out of money and there won't be a company anymore. At what point is profits going to start to override politics? Because Thor, you said it's going to be the meteorite that resets us all. And I agree with you. But do you think the indoctrination and the brainwashing and the momentum and the lack of genuinely independent minded critical thinkers, like the reality department, the accounting department, they'll run a money losing movie. They'll do money losing commercials because profits truly are profits are truly secondary to politics. Do you think the money running out might put a stop that saner heads will prevail? Because there were no sane heads that stopped the Bud Light or the Miller commercials from going out.
Well, I think
it has momentum. It definitely has momentum, Cappy, at this point. And it's multifactorial, but it has momentum. It has popularity right now, and I think there is going to be opportunity for men of intelligence to exercise, let's say, their options and actually be really successful in corporations as we get past this political mess we've been in for 10 years, for sure. I really do. We're up against some problems. I mean, for sure, we have the societal problems of us as men losing our testosterone, losing our sperm counts. The birth rates are on decline. So the meteor for us is probably going to be a demographic crash. That's what I think. I know you'd mentioned the meteor, but I think it's really a demographic crash is what the meteor actually is.
I think some of it also depends on who's sitting on the boards of these big corporations. Are they uber liberals that they like the message and they don't care about the profit, or are they?
I think they're not afraid of that. They'll take it into bankruptcy.
And look at the chick who runs InBev, the one who decided the Dylan Mulvaney thing was the way to go and have him be the endorser for Bud Light of all fucking brands. Why not just have him why don't we give him Marlboro too, right? Think of the most masculine brands you can possibly think of. Let's just give it to Dylan Mulvaney. And the reason why is because, and I said this on Dr. Phil, I said this, and I actually got picked up by Fox News, as a matter of fact, is the only time we celebrate masculinity is when it looks like femininity, when it looks like The Rock in a fucking tutu in The Tooth Fairy, when it looks like Dylan Mulvaney. That's when we'll celebrate this is this is the best of both worlds. She's a woman and he's a man. It's like everything. It's androgyny is the goal state for these people, for at least for the idea of what we're going to promote, because they're not promoting a product. They're promoting an ideology.
So all this is, could we say this, and I'll expand this to men in corporate America as well. You look at the financial bailout, the bankers want to play in dude bro. And now we got kind of a similar bubble and break here happening with women in marketing, generally speaking. Is it just basically the adult children are now in command of corporate America and they want to LARP and do whatever they want? And then down the road, we'll get bailed out. Or bankruptcy is so far away. We've bailed everybody out. No one has really ended up going bankrupt because we do bail them out. Is that, and now it's just kind of a soap opera. We get to play however we want, market however we want. And there's billions of dollars in equity and cash. We can make crappy movies at Disney. Is that kind of what we're it's a playground.
So here's what I think, though. I think that what happens is, all right, a company starts to become successful with a base of people and clientele that buy their products, and they have these values and they promote this stuff, and there's some congruency there. But then as that success continues, and then especially when you make it generational, what happens is you get a separation between the clientele that's consuming those products and then the people who are running these companies. Right. So the people who run Bud Light are not your typical Bud Light drinker. They are somewhere else in maybe California, having a, weird California party or whatever they do over there. Thor, you live up there. What are these people?
California. Yeah, I have some experience with the C-suite. Actually, is where they're at. That's where InBev is a Belgian company. They're the ones who actually hired the chick who made the decision to use Mulvaney. Again, she's still a product of that same education system.
Right. So these people went to
people who hired her are also the product of that same
there it is, and they're separated from their base. And so this cognitive dissonance and ego protection is such a powerful thing. They think that, if we put this movie out where we have to, because movies nowadays are done around a conference table with producers who go, do we hit the gay demographic? Do we hit
called
the
the Bechdel
feminist
score.
demographic? How about the minority demographic? Oh, we better change that character out for
the
this.
trans demographic. It's a fraction of 1%. It is I think it was Ryan who said that it is like the margin of error is a rounding error.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
that doesn't
so,
matter.
but
They
these
actually have a
people-
scoring system that they have to meet at the corporate level. I've sat on C-suite, with C-suites when I was a PMP some 12 years ago, and I could tell you most of them are pretty much normal people and not even exceptional thinkers. But what they're really good at is creating a perception that they're exceptional.
Yeah. Well, you know why that is, because transgender, I got it right here. Transgender and gender diverse adults are 3 to 6 times more likely as cisgendered adults to be diagnosed as autistic. So, and by the way, this is for people who think that this is some sort of fringe study. It's not. You can go Google it. You will see it everywhere. So odds are 6 times, anywhere between 3 and 6 times more likely that you're dealing with an autistic individual. Dylan Mulvaney is probably diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome or some sort of functional
spectrum disorder. Yeah,
fucking guarantee it.
Well, and that's
Jack.
That's not
Jack. Hang on, guys. Let Jack speak.
Go ahead.
I mean, at minimum, at least he is diagnosed with that. At least, let's be honest here. By the way, that's cisgender. With cisgender, they mean hetero, right? Or
yes, like normies.
Yeah, should we just call it hetero? I really refuse to use their language. I hate those people so bad. It's like heterosexual people, normal.
Yes.
Normal.
Stop using their language. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
So, all right. Well, listen. Let's start winding it up here because we're coming up on an hour. Plus, we got to go through some super chats, and you guys, of course, welcome to stick around.
Can I take one last thing onto what Paul was saying here, real quickly, because I've talked about this with Josh Fluke a few times because he's my favorite sort of employment podcaster.
He's good.
He's really great, especially lately. But he was talking about how corporate America, and this kind of actually of all people you need to interview, Cappy, is Josh Fluke, because you and him.
I am a big fan of his, and I mention him every time I talk about labor economics. He's the foremost expert in that field.
Yeah, he's fantastic. But so he was talking about how I had this one conversation with him one time. And it was based on you had an essay a while back saying something like women are in the American workforce, let them have it. They can have this thing. That's exactly how I sort of came into this idea that when women started coming into the American workforce, think about how old school businesses were arranged. I thought about this during the Gillette thing, whenever some sort of, beer commercial comes out and it's very wokesy. The reason for this is because those old companies, and you're talking about masculine brands like Old Spice, Gillette, all these brands that have anywhere between 50 to 100 years in business are now suddenly going woke. The reason for that is because in the last 50, 60 years, we put more women into the American workforce. And what's happened is it's gone from a hierarchical way of organizing the work culture, like the CEO, the whatever CFO, and all the chain of command on down. We have put more women into the workforce who want to make it in the round. They want to make it more egalitarian. So now we've got to have a ball pit for, in the commons area, and we got to have Bagel Tuesdays, and we've got to have, it's Jenny's birthday, it's time for cupcakes, that kind of shit. Team building kind of thing. And it's what's happened is those companies have become less and less competitive with other companies, because that's really what capitalism is about. Form a tribe, form a company, form an army, form whatever, so that you can compete with the other guy who's selling the same shit that you are, whether that's cars or whatever else it is. When you put women into that situation, it ceases to become hierarchical and it becomes more egalitarian, and the focus is less on being competitive and more on, can we make the work environment, because if we got to spend 40 hours a week here, can we make it more comfortable? Can we put plushies all over the fucking place, right? That it ceases to be more a masculine company because of the hierarchy, and it becomes something that's a little bit more egalitarian, communitarian, and that's how you get bankruptcy. That's how you get Procter and Gamble. That's how you're going to get boycotts for fucking Bud Light or whatever it is, because they've decided that this would be a great direction to go. That decision to have Dylan Mulvaney as the spokesperson for Bud Light only happens in that environment. It only does not happen in the hierarchical environment where we're worried about killing off the competition. It only happens when we're like, we need to be more inclusive. Who thinks more inclusive? A communitarian mindset thinks more inclusively. And that's why it seemed like a good idea until it wasn't. And they got pushed back. And now that bitch is on like executive leave or some shit like
right.
that.
No, I agree. Yeah,
guys.
Jack. All right.
Thanks
see you,
for
Jack.
having me.
I gotta bounce, you guys.
I'll see you soon.
All right. See you, Paul.
See you later.
See you. Yeah, no, I'd only add to that. What's tragic, and this was my main contention with especially the Miller and the Gillette, is okay, if you're going to have a female run company, I don't care as long as you make a profit. If you want to advertise to fat black women with a Dove bar commercial because it's predominantly female, okay, I do it. What I'm concerned about, and it's not so much concerned because you're going to do what you want and I'll respond, is how the advertising is immediately defined by men's existence. Like women are reactionary to men, it seems. And it's such a high percent or such of high importance to them that we are starting to get commercials that I view as actual misandrous and man hatred. They may not see it that way. They may be in their estrogen soaked echo chamber at the marketing department. Like, wouldn't it be funny and edgy? Or maybe women just are sick and tired of men liking them as much. They hate male nature because men constantly proposition sex to them and chase after them. Like, oh my God, girls, this is so annoying. Look at these bastard men. But
the ones they don't want to.
Right. No, the 5% excluded. It's kind of like, wow, you can start running anti-male ads shaming men for being men, and got news for you, ladies. Men are never going to give up liking hot girls in bikinis. It's not changing. That world does not exist. But if that's going to be your market, now guys are going to, one, you're going to destroy your product, especially for male products. Dove, Lizzo, CD sales, whatever. Okay, fine, that's fine. But for men, it's the wall. But it's the wall of reality and marketing for these large corporations. So you go ahead and do what you want. What I'd like to know, I wish we had a couple guys here, but let's do a round take on this. What should men do here going forward? Women too. I got. It's not a complicated solution, but I got some ideas. Thor, what do you recommend for men going forward here?
In regards to this type of marketing or alcohol use, or what are we talking about here? I will say this though. Yeah. As far as this type of marketing, I mean, you know how it is in this industry. You got to get more sensational until there's just nothing left. So they keep hyping it up. And what it does reveal, at least even in this commercial, is that women, that have adopted this feminism, and it's both the left and the right, are really demonstrating that ideology is actually a supremacy movement.
Yeah,
its core on both sides. Nobody's innocent here, and you can see it demonstrated everywhere. So what is the next drop of the shoe? Don't really know, but we'll see. And as far as you older guys out there, minimize your alcohol use.
Stay on top of your shit.
Do it. I mean, it's really the young people they're going after, because a lot of us that are getting into their upper 30s and 40s realize, what it actually does to us by drinking the alcohol. I'm sorry to say that, but it is actually true.
It's not good for you, no.
It's pretty bad if you really are honest with yourself over time.
Okay, Paul, what do you recommend?
I think the solution is pretty simple, vote with your wallet. Spend your money on brands that, have the same values as you have. And when they stop having those values, stop spending your money with those guys and stop letting your wives or girlfriends make your shopping decisions for you.
Yeah.
Simple.
Rollo?
Okay, so there is a silver lining to all of this. Actually, there is a very green lining to all of this.
If you steal my idea, Rollo, I'm gonna be pissed. Okay, go ahead. What's your idea, Rollo?
Because you and I were just talking about this recently.
Well, yeah, but okay, go on.
Play to the meta. Play to the meta. What's the meta? The meta is wokeism. It's Dylan Mulvaney. What's the meta? The meta is misandry. The meta is Captain Marvel. Okay, that's the meta. It is so tiring. It is so too many people think that that's the template because people lack that creativity and they lacked the sort of ideas and the concepts. So they would rather just go with what they think the template is going to be successful. And that's how you get a Dylan Mulvaney. That's how you get the missing. That's how you get these commercials and stuff like that. Play to the meta. And what I mean by that is if you want to, be the change you want to see in the universe, right? If that's the case, then what you really need to start doing is being unapologetically masculine if you're going to start a business, if you're going to start a new brand, if you're going to write a new book, if you're going to write a new franchise, science fiction franchise, or comic book, or whatever the fuck you're going to do, write unapologetically masculine characters. Write a new Han Solo. Write a new Captain Kirk. I think it's getting to the point where people wouldn't even remember how to do something like that. But for the people who do, maybe of our generation, or maybe the earlier parts of the millennials who would remember how to do something like that and have the balls to actually go and say, you know what, here's what it's about. It's not about some empowered young lady who takes over the like Brave or Moana or whatever. Like they're all the same fucking movie. It's just the same character, just rehashed over and over again. How about you take a young white male who actually follows the hero's journey, and I will guarantee you, it will seem so fresh and so novel and so new that everybody will love it that much more. Now that's for storytelling. If you want to make $1 million, write the next Captain Kirk and do it and put it right in your fucking face and say, here's what it is, right? And then stop using their language. And then second of all is if you want to compete with in the meta with, say, like an alcohol brand, you need to make an unapologetically masculine brand.
There you go.
Even Johnny Walker Black and Johnny Walker Red right now, they've changed the label so that the chick, that the Johnny Walker, the guy who was in the top hat, and the
guy who's walking, is
now a chick. So we've taken that traditionally because that's the meta. Hey, wouldn't it be better if we had a girl doing it? They can play. Can girls play this game too? Like that's what it. Can we come in your clubhouse, boys? Like that kind of shit. Play to the meta. No, you fucking can't. We got an unapologetically masculine brand. It's by men, for men, marketed to men. And I will guarantee you, if you take that no nonsense approach to it, you will break the meta. The meta is like, what is everybody else using? Don't use that. Play that against themselves, because they think that by repeating that template, it's always going to be successful. So what I've argued in the past is like, if you go and you look at, and I hate to use this as an example, but if you look at it was an ABC show. It was the Roseanne Barr show, the Roseanne show, the rehash of it, like the return kind of thing. They did this back in like 2018, I think. It was the #1 top rated, it even outclassed like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. It was the #1 most watched show on television at the time, right up until Roseanne Barr decided to mouth off on Zoom or where on social media or some shit like that, and they killed the show dead. This is ABC, owned by Disney, by the way. Right. So you've got this show that is their #1 cash cow, outclassing, outviewing all of their top shows. Why is that? Because it provided a balance, a counterbalance at the time to this wokesy bullshit. So you got her sister on the show, who's this very wokesy, progressive, leftist, lesbian chick. And then you've got John Goodman and you've got Roseanne Barr, who are the old school, like, hey, that's not how we do things downtown kind of no nonsense bullshit. So you've got this sort of pushback from this like more conservative perspective going against the quote unquote liberally perspective. And so it provided something that was completely absent in TV, which was being able to talk back to the left, wokesy left. Everybody loved it until she mouthed off. They killed it dead. They did not start the series. They did not continue out the series without her. They killed the show immediately because it went against their narrative. But it played to the meta. The meta being everything's all wokesy and inclusive and blah, blah, blah. We're all going to feel good about ourselves. And then Roseanne Barr, because they thought the nostalgia factor was going to make a good play for them. But once she said something that was inappropriate or whatever on social media, they killed the show dead. And that woke me up to the fact that they are willing to lose the money that they would have made in advertisers on their #1 most watched show.
That was their feeling.
No, it's okay. We don't need the money. We just don't want that message out there. That's why.
And that'll solve itself.
You play to the meta, you produce a show or a character or a product that pushes against that. the sky's the limit. You'll be a millionaire overnight by doing that, and do it unapologetically. Do not apologize for it. Push it and pushes people's noses in it, and call it what it is. And I'll guarantee you will have all kinds, because people want that. They're starving for that pushback. You want to know why Fresh and Fit and whatever podcast and the rest of these things, you want to know why they came up to where they're at, because they played to the meta that has been going on. We're going to hold these bitches accountable, whether or not you agree with what they're saying or not, or their delivery. I'm not like people say, oh, he's calling out Fresh and Fit. No, I'm calling out you, the people who watch Fresh and Fit, not them. They're just responding to the market demands. You're the ones that go in there and watch this shit constantly to the tune of 22,000 live views. Hell, we had 35,000 live views when I went on there with Destiny, because this is what you want. This is your this is playing to the meta. They played to the meta. They took a chance and they fucking won. Just like Brian's, and now it's the template. Now it is the meta. But when they started that show, it wasn't. They were pushing against
they were pioneers.
That's why it was so successful, because it was something that people wanted that they weren't fucking getting, because it's the same shit over and over, same shit sandwich over and over and over again. Stop doing that. Play to that meta, and you will profit huge if you do this right now.
All right, you kind of stole my idea, but not in its entirety.
Maybe the product, right? We need a massive can of bourbon.
Maybe. So one, Paul, I'm gonna agree with him, except actually fucking boycott. I'm sick and tired of these pussy men, and that's what the majority of American men are. Most Western men are. You're a bunch of pussies. You're too fucking. I'm shocked. Like, oh my God, the teachers are teaching our children to cut their penises off, and it's like, you won't take your kid out of school. But oh my God, someone fucked with your light beer that you drink at the bar on when the sports ball is on. If men were to say fuck Target, tell your wife we ain't shopping at Target. I know your wife is just in love with Target. We're not shopping there anymore. Fuck them. They're anti-American. They're just woke. It's not even the anti. It's just they're so cute. They're like, oh, we're going to be so agile. Fuck them. All right. Oh, Miller? Fuck them. Actually say no. Okay, maybe you don't have a wife.
Wear my Miller Lite t-shirt tomorrow.
Jesus Christ, stop shopping there. I haven't shopped at Target in like 15, 20 years. But Walmart is all dirtier. Too bad. Look at the fat people. At least Walmart hasn't nagged me about something like that. All right. Actually fucking boycott. The second thing to do with boycotting, guys, I don't know if you know how businesses work. They don't usually just have one product. It's a large corporation with multiple subsidiaries. You should be boycotting Procter & Gamble. I don't do Old Spice. Old Spice is also owned by Procter & Gamble, which has Gillette. Procter & Gamble has a ton of products, right? Obviously, we've learned with the beer, it's not just the Miller Lite Corporation. Miller's owned by, what, InBev, was it?
They're actually owned by Molson now.
All right, so fine. Find out, I'm going to switch to whatever it is. Modelo. This is not to say boycott Modelo. I don't know who makes Modelo.
Go with a local brewer.
Right, go with the local brewer or whatever. But boycott the corporation, not the product. Well, you go give them the same damn money they make up for sales in another line of products that they got. The second thing what Rollo was saying about entrepreneurship. All right, Rollo was talking about
Modelo, also owned by InBev, just saying.
Okay, well, there you go. But take the time to come up with a list, come up with a hate list, the fuck these people list, and not buy their shit. That's it. Very simple. Okay. Second thing, entrepreneurship on two levels. One, Rollo's talking about basically what Jeremy at Jeremy's Razors. You guys are like, look, if these corporations are going to fucking put politics that hate your guts in front of your face, all right, you can, especially with the white label stuff, I'm going to offer razors.
Yeah.
What chocolates, Hershey's, like whatever. We hate white people or hate Republicans or hate men, whatever their woke politics was. And they just came in and said, nope, we're going to do our own chocolate. All right. So there's that opportunity for you people out there to go and like, hey, I'm in this field, and the industry is nothing but a bunch of woke Marxist crybaby feminists. I'm going to offer a product that ain't even, it's for men. It's just like, here, buy our stuff because we're not going to lecture you. So there's an opportunity there. And then as always, I say, well, look, if we've laid the infrastructure and there's momentum and everyone's been indoctrinated for rah, team vagina, Operation Evil. All right. I did a video on, what was it? Profiting on women the spinster industry. That's why I call it the spinster industry. Look at that. There's women marrying themselves. I'm like, look, if you're selling diamond rings or bridals, why don't you get in on that? The self-marriage market. We'll capitalize on that. So that's the other entrepreneurship idea that I had there.
I love it. I love it. I think we could really all go in on this for sure, because I have an idea for a special sports drink. I'm calling it Brondo, and you can actually use it for watering crops with.
Yeah.
And I think if we hire the right marketing team, we could even get a presidential candidate. His name is Camacho.
Camacho. I'm for President Camacho.
And Kathy's the smartest man in the world, so this could actually work.
Yeah. Have you guys ever had Liquid Death?
No.
The
power drink?
Water. It's just
water in a can.
Fucking brilliant. Absolutely. It's water.
Hydro monoxide.
Remember I told you about lifestyle brands, man. Holy shit.
Let's go through there.
We got to make it legal, guys.
You guys are welcome to stick around for the super chats if you like, but let's go through in case you guys got to take off. Thor, where can people find you?
You can certainly find me at RP Thor on all the platforms, and also you can come and watch the Dragon Ship. We'll be on about 11, and we're going to talk about old school stuff like, is marriage boss level game, or is it just selling the dream to girls? It's a cult. It's an escapism.
It's on insane mode. It's game on insane mode.
Game on insane.
Yeah. Oh, is it my turn to?
Yeah, your turn. Yeah, I know you got it up there, but tell people to find you anyway.
You can find me at comeonmanpod.com. Subscribe to the podcast. My guest Monday is a guy he's actually been following me for a while. He used to weigh 400 pounds. 400 pounds, decided he wanted to take his life back. He found my TikTok videos, started reading the books I recommend, started exercising, started just, following the kind of crap that I talk about on my show and listening to the guys that I have on, and changed his life around. He's lost like all that weight. He's killing it in the dating market, and he's just completely changed his life around. So it's a inspiring story. So check that out on Monday.
Cool. Rolo, you do anything?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing my show tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, and you are not going to want to miss this one. I finally got to get back into the studio here. I got a new mic in case I sound different right now. I actually picked up the latest Rode.
Send me your old one don't throw it away.
No, I'm not. No, actually, I was going to take it to Vegas with me. But if you want it, you got the Yeti though. That looks pretty good.
It's all right, but I could always use better. And if I like,
this is actually brand new. This is the Pod Mic USB. I can use this either way. It has an XLR in it too. But I love the sounds like way better. I was like,
rich.
Yeah.
And you don't have to use a cloud lifter.
No, you don't need to. Oh, I'm going through a board anyways. The only thing I have on here really is the noise gate, just so you don't hear the freaking air conditioner. But that's about it. So tomorrow on the brand new mic, I'll be talking about everything that's been going on up to this point. So because I know people have a million. I don't want to call it a Q&A because it's not really a Q&A. I do have some topics to get into. I'm going to talk about ovulatory shift versus mate switching hypothesis. I'm going to get into the shit that's been going on with Richard Cooper and MLD. Yes, I'll talk about that. I'll talk about the Destiny thing. I'm going to give you sort of like the after action report of everything that's happened probably within the last 2 weeks, like from whatever podcast all the way up to our last week in Miami. And and summing it all up with the last fantastic, glorious episode of Access Vegas, which was last Thursday. Go check that out. If you haven't subscribed to the new Access Vegas channel, you can find just go and look it up on Google, but you can find the link to it in pretty much all of my videos. It's like the third link down on all my videos, but I'm trying to build up the subscriber base on that so I can sort of get that off the ground, and I'm going to actually push all the Access Vegas stuff over to the new channel. And then also I've got new merch coming out. I've got a Spanish version of the books are coming out. I've got the edited, the 10th anniversary hardback version of the first book will be, I'm going to say probably midsummer. If I don't get it towards like August, probably around there. That is on the way. That is inbound. I got a lot of great new stuff coming out too. All of the bullshit that's been going on for the last like 3 or 4 weeks is really sort of like had me circle the wagons and get back to the basics and get back to the core. So that's what we'll be talking about tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on my channel.
You got new merch, Rolo?
I do.
Are you going to have autographed beanies?
Well, see, you know what's funny is I gave these guys like carte blanche. I said, go ahead and make merch of Rule Zero. If you're in Rule Zero, you can make Rule Zero merch.
Thank you.
So yeah, so everybody go
This is
crazy.
Thor's shirt, by the way.
I have 3 of these for you, Rolo. So
I want one of those shirts. I want one of those shirts that Paul has, man. That's pretty badass.
This is
one.
Thor's.
I got
It's
3
in Thor's
versions.
store. Yeah.
You guys, you can use Rule Zero, but you can't use the fly. I'm the one that gets to fly on all the logos.
I got one that's the Saturday morning cartoon versions of our faces that I released. You're gonna love it. It's
all
really
right.
good.
Yeah, I guess send me freebies if you got them. So
okay,
cool.
Will do.
All right, and then you guys can find me always at assholeconsulting.com. Link below is a link to my course on
back
Teachable
in the
Code.
old studio too. Good to see you.
Yeah, it is back to South Dakota. Got good audio
at the bunker.
Link below is a course called "The Dad You Never Had." For all you who did not have a father or your father did a shitty job raising you. And then, as always, Bachelor Pad Economics, the Financial Advice Bible for Men on Amazon. You guys want to stick around for super chats? You guys got to get going.
Go for it. Let's finish.
All right, let's do it. Okay. Wandering Warrior, $10. Millennial Zoomer, Wokesters trying to knock us Gen Xers off King of the Hill. You all want a shot at the belt and title. Come get some, kiddos. What's FAFO?
Fuck all y'all.
Fuck around, find out.
Oh, fuck around, find out. Yeah. No, it is interesting. Those girls are millennial. All the marketers were millennial women.
Yep.
Like they were all millennial women. So Bob the Monk, 22 Canadian, Serenity since 2008. Vasectomy saved me twice from sperm jacking. Freedom until my last breath. Awesome. It's the best money I ever spent. Nonstop Dre, $2. Did you guys see the Dove Women Gamer ad yet? Did you guys see it?
I haven't seen that one.
Oh God,
go dig it up.
Go look it up. Like after this, it's just it's so okay. Dove advertising to women, not a shocker. Dove advertising to fat women, not a shocker. They try to make it this video game girl and say, did you know that women in video games are like that? It's like, get the fuck.
And then she takes off the costume and she's
right. And it's like, okay, ladies, get the fuck out of our clubhouse. It's I think it is time to like you said, roll like, no, you're not allowed here. And I think it's perfectly right. I said, get the fuck out of here. No women allowed.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then pitching this idea is it's this body fat, this shame. You know what's funny is like in the same breath they'll complain about like body shaming and stuff, and then they'll pull that. Is that not body shaming? Are you not like trying to be something you're not online? Because that's really what that represents to me. Oh, I'm hot online, but I take the costume off and I'm really this fat fuck offline.
I'm waiting, and I'll be waiting till I'm dead because they're not going to do it. I'm waiting for hot women to strike back, saying "fuck you." I put a lot of work into this, but I don't think it'll happen.
The guy that puts hot chicks in his commercial is going to fucking be the next Hugh Hefner.
Yep. Lauer, 57, $5. She said women are among the first brewers. Same could be said of men, right? Yeah. Well,
men were the first distillers.
Okay. Good. I want to know who's linemen today. I want to know who the real workers are today. It's Thor. It ain't the women. Yeah.
I love how we have to go. We go all
just
the way.
show. They don't actually work.
So to justify women being the authorities over alcohol, we got to go, well, it was women who created beer back in the day. They just happened upon yeast when they were baking fucking bread. Yeah, exactly. And look, we can actually ferment things with this. Does that mean they own fucking beer? Is that it? Sorry, ladies, it's all yours. You go and do whatever you're going to do with it because we're just here to just sort of serve you.
I got the perennial question. Is actually brewing and distilling, is that because you guys know what fabbing is, right? Was it discovered from fabbing?
I don't know.
You guys know what fabbing is? On TikTok, I just saw it the other day. Fabbing is actually using no. It's using look it up. It's using certain bodily fluids as an attractive female as a pheromone to be used on your neck and your wrist to attract men.
Okay. Yeah, they did come up with that. We'll give that to them.
Yeah, we will give them that.
Yeah. Idle minds.
Tudor sauce on your neck is
look up fabbing. Might be worth an episode.
Yeah. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
See, I'm at the stage of telling them just shut the fuck up. Not because I don't want to debate or I'm afraid and I don't have a counter argument. It's the facetiousness, the shallowness, the intellectual dishonesty. And I'm so fucking sick and tired. I think I'm going to switch it. Just shut the fuck up. It's like, I don't care that you're a fat video game player.
You know what they were talking about on like Howard Stern right before 9/11? Vajazzling.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
I got more important shit.
I've been vajazzled a couple times. I gotta admit.
No, send the planes.
Dunk is fun, $5. The only way that I would touch that woman is if I was drunk. Thank goodness she knows how to make beer. Oh yeah, he's talking about the the actress.
Beer was invented so men would fuck fat girls.
Well, and then I know it's
all been explained to me.
I know it's cosmetic, but they just get the bitchiest woman like that Alana Glazer gal. Just you look at her, it's like, get the fuck out of here. Go hate men elsewhere. I'm so sick of your shit. Wandering Warrior, $10. Gen X Warriors, Cappy and Rolla on the battlefield. Show them how we sacrificed and suffered to get where we are today. The 13th Warrior grows stronger. I will say one thing, we did have to do it the hard way. We had no internet. It all had to be analog, and it was a fucking nightmare.
That's why we rule. That's why you will never defeat us.
Ken Rose, $5 generous. Just a thumbs up. Thanks, Ken. Blaze Endo, $2. Destiny debunked the red pill with studies and facts.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that on tomorrow's show, and I will explain to you how very, very wrong and mistaken you are. And I will take great joy in doing so.
Was this blue hair guy who lets other people fuck his wife or something?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I need. You know what my answer is? Get the fuck out of here. That's my answer. I'm not going.
I honestly, I think he should replace Dylan Mulvaney.
Okay, cool. Dr. Paradox, $20 generous. Until Cappy begins teaching these kids like redheaded stepchildren, read lots of shouting, belt always being taken off for a whooping. This is only going to get worse, not better. Hope you're all well, gents, and thank you. The whooping's going to come from reality. Like when they're all off on their ass and there's no money, and then they're like, "Oh my god!"
He has the Dad You Never Had course. As soon as you're ready,
absolutely.
As soon as you're ready for it,
I have that.
Unteachable.
It's. I had someone sign. Yeah, I had a sale this morning. It was kind of cool. I slept, woke up. Oh, someone bought it. Cool. Sam Whiskey, $10. Is there an arousal component to hating the opposite sex? Good question.
Only for women.
Is there?
Probably.
I know there's some guys. There's some guys that follow this space that love seeing the comeuppance. They love seeing the comeuppance.
I think there's definitely a dopamine hit for the guys on that.
But it's not arousal.
A good hate F is really something else.
Probably. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a reason why I call it a hate fuck, right? I mean, there's.
Yeah, that's guys. I think he's referring
not endorsing that. That is not the opinions and expressions are not.
Is Sam referring to women though getting aroused from hating the opposite sex?
I don't know. That's why I try to hit it from both sides.
Oh, okay. Wandering Warrior, $10. The need for instant gratification, fear of missing out, and social media clout does not bode well for Western civilization without the requisite sacrifice and suffering. Prepare for the barbarians.
Damn right.
Yeah. Atham Aldecchio, recently graduated chemical engineering graduate. For those of you looking for a chemical engineer, please email me because I have someone who's looking for a job. $2. Why is Aaron mad today? I'm always mad, but I'm less.
I thought you were a good mood.
I'm less mad today because I am in South Dakota and I'm cleaning out the hot tub and I mowed the yard and the grass came in. Everything's wonderful. Tushar Moore, I think that's 110 Indian rupees. Thanks, Cappy, for inspiring me to start planning for my retirement and rethinking my investment due to inflation. Thinking of taking my 2-wheeler license too. All right, good. That's awesome. Ass Bucket, $2. Do you let Target stock tank? Buy some and bail? I want nothing to do with Target. Target long ago was this woke corporation where 10% of their pre-tax profits were donated to some charities in the Twin Cities. And guess what? It didn't work. And only has become more and more woke and frankly anti-American since. You should not shop at Target. You should not let your wife shop at Target. I don't care if it's a divorce that is the culmination. It's worth not shopping at Target. So Wandering Warrior, $5. Wokeism will end exactly how the French revolutionaries ended, guillotining each other in ideological purity contests. I'm not familiar with French history, but I'll agree. Dung is fun. $20. $20 is $20, Cappy. Thank you. Dung is fun.
Oh, those guys are fags.
Javier Portillo Fernandez, $5. Sadly, MLD did a huge disservice to the red pill by acting like a child on valuetainment. Is this the drama thing I'm unaware of? Because I don't pay attention.
There's multiple dramas swirling about MLD. I will react to this, by the way, tomorrow.
Okay. Was he on valuetainment recently?
He was on valuetainment. He walked off after he got I want to say ambushed, but he stepped on his dick, and I think it just kind of looked bad. I think it looked worse than it actually was. But
was he in the US?
Yeah, he was in valuetainment on Adam Sosnick's show.
Okay, cool. And Glenn Lawrence, who do you guys know this guy?
Something like that. Yeah. Who is this dude?
$2. Rollo, do the hand test on Rule 0. What's the hand test?
Hand test.
Well, Thor knows.
He's just expressing some small dick energy.
All right, that's it. All right, you guys have a good weekend. Get the hell out of here. We'll see you guys.
The hand test. Oh yeah,
he knows.
There it is. That's the hand test. Yeah, because he had the biggest dick. That's what we want. We will talk about that tomorrow.
Okay, all right, good.
All right. Well, I have to tune in, man.
Here's the hand
see
test.
you guys later.
Hand test, yeah.
Toodles.